Good evening, and thanks for being here, for connecting with me. My name is Vanessa Vega, and I'm every Wednesday night talking about different subjects about spirituality and how we can obtain our highest full potential in life. Okay, so let's dive right in because today's topic is a great topic. And I'll start by saying that last week I talked about the divine order and how mankind has broken it. How by not following this instruction manual that we have affected all the results in our body and in our lives. I revealed the first secret. And the secret is the way we address life and our bodies always has to honor the order in which we were created. That of the creation, right? And certainly it was not in the physical aspect. It was in atoms, energy, right? So this energetic body through the main chakra system, which are those energetic points and are our energetic organs, okay, or spiritual organs, if you may call them. Chakras, I said, regulate the endocrine system and our 7 major glands, okay? And I said that depending to what level and which glands we stimulate, will be the degree and type of secretions and in turn emotions that we'll experience in our body. Today, I come to divulge secret number 2 that will change your life. Obviously, if you apply this knowledge in your life, okay? So, and it has to do, the second secret, it has to do with the sacred secretion. That's what it is called, and it is known as the sacred secretion. And what is this sacred secretion, you may ask? And let me start by saying that the word sacred comes from the word sacral, a sacral chakra, which is, or sacrum in Latin. We have this, in our spinal cord, we have the sacrum, which is a vertebrae, which is, I think it's 5 vertebrae on top of the coccyx. Okay? So, and the word secretion, sacred secretion comes from the word secret. Okay? It refers to a monthly biological and physiological process that occurs in the human body when the moon passes through the same position where the sun was on your birth date. You might say, Vanessa has gone crazy. What is she talking about? So first, let me explain to you what I mean by this, okay? As you may have or may have not heard, I have talked about this before here. The moon is associated with the feminine energy in the world. Everything has feminine energy and masculine energy, okay? And the feminine energy is known as the receptor energy. Because the moon receives the energy from the sun and does not shine on its own, right? It doesn't truly have light. It is a reflection of the light of the sun that she emits. So she is the receptor. She receives the light. Okay? Also, you may have heard, we've known this for centuries now, that the, the moon is the one that controls all the liquids, the fluids in the world, because the seas, the sailors, right, used to study the the moon to know when the seas were in their highs or in their lows. Okay, so all the waters, all fluids in the world are influenced by the moon cycles. Obviously, the human body is composed of 70% of water. So this is why we have a menstrual cycle. Women, for those who are women, right? We have a menstrual cycle, which is monthly cycle, which is controlled and aligns consciously, again, with the moon cycle, with everybody's moon cycle. Also, in the esoteric aspect, the moon is associated with everything that is occult, because it doesn't have light in its own. Everything that is occult is associated with the moon. Okay? So having said that, I'll explain that also the sun, I'll explain the sun now, is associated with the father, the masculine and giving energy source. It is the light. Okay? So, having said that, ancient civilizations practiced this process, and used it as a method to achieve high levels of consciousness up to enlightenment. Why? To shed the light to the hidden truths in their lives. Okay, bring forth hidden truths of life. Several researchers in the subject assure that it was so that the civilizations could build and create great things that today we still wonder about how, right, they were created, given the advances they had at the present time, like the pyramids, right? Others have analyzed this process deeply because it holds a deep symbolism with religious and biblical interpretations of the divine conception, Mary and Joseph's nativity journey, and the life and death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And it is not surprising that, as I always tell you, energy behaves in spiral patterns that repeat all across the universe. As above, so below, right? As above, so below. And for me, when I teach, right, for human life, I explain it, what happens within yourself in terms of energetic, your emotion, vibrations, okay? Will manifest outside, meaning your body, in the way of diseases, and also this is in your life situations, okay? The human body and life is an infinite system that is part of another, much larger and infinite system in turn. We have the universe represented in our body through the chakra system. Today, I will not go into the depth of all the symbolism of the sacred secretion, because it is a very, very dense subject, and It takes a lot of time to discuss all that. But I will be doing, and I am letting you know that for those interested, I am planning to do a seminar or a workshop about this subject, okay? I will only concentrate today on talking to you about the benefits and how I want you to understand what I mean, and I tell you every single time when I say that you are a divine being, so that you may identify the divinity in you, so that you know that that is what you came to do, to learn and discover that you are a divine being. And you can see the divinity in you. How we were created in perfection. How in the creation we were gifted and capacitated with all the necessary tools to be able to achieve whatever we want in life because of the divine material we are all made out of. And that it is truly our beliefs, as I always say, created by our physical aspects and attachments that limit us in life. The sacred fluid or oil is a mixture of secretions secreted by both the pineal, which is called pineal because its shape, its natural shape, it's like a pine cone, and carries with it the masculine energy or energetic properties in the human body. And also the pituitary gland, which has an oval shape, like an egg shape, okay, and has magnetic properties, the receptor energy, right, the feminine energy. So these two secrete both. The activation of this sacred secretion gives us unprecedented benefits because it provides and facilitates us to achieve divine illumination, the highest level of consciousness and highest vibrational frequency while incarnated. On a spiritual, energetic level, it acts as a divine portal, right, of enlightenment, where we can access the divine connection and its universal truths, as well as be more susceptible to it during the monthly period, and that it lasts 2.5 days, okay? What's happening at a biological level in the body is that it behaves as a purification or cleansing of the blood and the daily produced new cells to renew your DNA. In this way, we heal cells that commonly were copying the behavior of the old cells. Now have the ability to start from a new clean slate. With the correct application or activation of this wisdom, we can become magnets of everything we want. Healing of any kind, longevity, health, inner peace, love, abundance, fulfillment, happiness. Okay? And what goes on in your body every month is that the pineal secretes a yellowish, honey-like secretion. That's why it's known like the land of the milk and honey, okay? Which has, again, energetic properties. And the pituitary secretes a white milk-like secretion which carries magnetic properties. And the pituitary, again, has the oval shape and the egg shape. It begins its descent, this mixture begins its descent through the spinal cord until it reaches the sacrum and starts to ascend again up to the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is this area here between your two rib cages, where it, we can say, baptizes the new cells being produced in our spleen. Because our spleen, as you may know, is the blood filter of our body. It's the blood warehouse, the cell warehouse, sorry, of our body, and the blood purifier and filter and producer of plasma, because our blood is made out of plasma, okay? One of the ingredients in our blood is plasma. Usually what happens is that these new cells stay there because the vast majority of us do not know that this is going on in our body and act to activate the process. So new cells leave the spleen and copy the behavior of the old ones, thus creating a never-ending spiral, right? A repeated pattern. So if we were sick, for example, and we don't act on this in any way, well, those new cells are going to copy the behavior, because this is a natural way that cells behave. They will copy the behavior of those that were in your body already. So, again, these new ones, after being purified, will not be regenerated. They will copy the old behavior, the old disease, the old information of the deceased ones. Okay? So, but the key here to this process, right, is to bring these purified cells back up the spine and into the brain. So that instead of copying the biology of old cells in the body, the biology of healthy, high vibrational cells is copied and multiplied, and the body can regenerate or rebirth itself. When this sacred secretion arrives to the brain again, it remains there for 2 days and a half, where the body returns then after that to its normal cycle. Because this is how long the moon phases lasts, okay? So, to activate and use this secretion to our benefit, we must do it in a way that we keep our body as pure as we can during those days. Meaning that we ingest live food, 0 meats, and eat, like for example, if we wanted to eat protein, we can eat vegetable proteins like the avocado, for example. And we should eat as organic as possible during these days. No processed foods at all, okay? And for those of you that fast and like to fast, even better yet, if you can fast. Obviously, drinking a lot of liquid, a lot of water, distilled water. Keep your body as pure as you can during these days. 0 alcohol, 0 cigarettes, 0 sex, okay? Staying at all time in the highest vibration possible. Surrounding ourselves with people and activities that make us feel good. Avoiding conflicts. Avoid watching sad or tense news, movies, and or documentaries at this time. Keep yourself connected. Meditate. Try to meditate. There's a lot of meditations in YouTube free meditations and pray during these days. Connection. Seek for connection, because if you don't connect, you will not receive the information. You're not going to be able to retrieve the information. Okay? It is my theory that many people awaken spiritually during this time without even knowing that this divine process has been activated in them. So, many of us spend a lifetime without knowing it, although they do feel different inside and transform and experience, like for example, gifts of high frequencies without knowing that it is due to this process that unknowingly they have activated this process, because perhaps during those days they kept their body without knowing it. They kept their body pure, right, and as pure as possible, and so they were vibrating high, and they suddenly downloads of information, of divine information that we all need to know. All your questions are going to be answered here, okay? And I say, Rila, because in reality, we are all divine beings. We do not have to codepend on the outside in any way or form, and that we are capable of everything if we know our real anatomy and how to use it correctly. Matter is the lowest degree or frequency of spirit, of energy. Spirit and energy are exactly the same thing, and spirit is the highest degree or frequency of matter. Remember that at this state, atoms are in their purest and organic state. Everything is spirit manifest. Everything. And this monthly sacred process allows us to regenerate and purify ourselves. Let us all activate our sacred secretion and use our body in the correct way it was meant to be used. After all, this is the fountain of youth, our highest potential and total well-being and wellness, okay? So as always, hoping that this information has benefited you in any way. Thanks for joining. Thank you for sharing, as I always say, spreading, helping me to spread this information, because this information is needed in the world, okay? So that we change the patterns and not keep repeating, so that we don't keep repeating the same patterns and ending up in the same sickened places we have for the past centuries. Let's learn how to do it like our ancestors, okay, in ancient time, that used this for their benefit. So sending you, as always, love and light. Please share, comment, please comment. And I thank you so much for being here, and hoping to see you next week here in the Mingles of Evo Life. Love you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.